That's the reality. But I'm very hopeful that change is possible. And this is where it depends on each person. Government has its own responsibility, but as individuals as well, we also have a responsibility, which is one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about, mentoring young adults from Nigeria and Africa, because these are the next generation. These are people that are going to be the next government or leaders of the country. And if they have the right mindset, leadership as service, rather than leadership as serving myself, the country and Africa will be on the right path. There are some countries that are doing excellent work, like Rwanda as an example, and which, countries like Nigeria can learn from. So for Nigerian young people, again, I think one is about being enterprising, and enterprising, I don't mean, just people that have business. An entrepreneur is somebody that, creates value, and value might not necessarily be buying and selling. Value could be empowering others and creating value in their life. So young people need to be much more enterprising. They have social internet communication technology that helps them to have more knowledge, more opportunities, and they need to look at that, not look at the government. Yes, I know infrastructure like electricity and power is a challenge, but it's possible to actually work even with that challenge. So stop looking to blame the government, do something first. Secondly, start holding our leaders to account. I really can't emphasize that enough. We've seen, massive changes generated because of social media. The young lady, Greta Thunberg, as an individual, she took a step against an issue. Now it's got every, leader in corporate world, in countries, to actually take notice of an issue that has been there for a long time. Climate change did not just happen yesterday. It's been there for years, but it took one, was she 11, a teenager, before she was even teenager, 13 or 11, to stand up. So it is possible for Nigerian youth to also stand up. It will take one to mobilize. So that is what the challenge I will be throwing back to our Nigerian youth, to actually, stand up, use the power of social media and start holding our government to account. And also, let's have many young people going into politics, into leadership. Because if you are not in the right position to effect change, you will just be making noise. So I'm sort of throwing back the challenge to the young people to say, what are you going to do about it? Because we do have opportunities right now. The world, there is opportunity to change leadership using the power, of self and social media.
Thank you for your response to that question. And I want to ask this question. I'm sure you have an upcoming event. Can you tell us about the leadership masterclass for emerging leaders, I think? I mean, what's it all about? Why did you decide to organize that, that event?
Okay. Thank you very much. Leadership Masterclass for Emerging Leaders. This is actually the vision, the big vision of mine. When I started with CAN, I had a vision of bringing emerging leaders to South Africa and transforming their leadership mindset. I didn't know how it was going to happen, or, I just knew I wanted to do that. And also I was thinking, if you want to do something like that, it's going to involve a lot of money. And then COVID-19 happens. And fortunately for me, I think 5 years ago, I was like, in 2020, I'm going to start this program. How it's going to happen, I don't know. And so when COVID-19 happens and it's like everybody's now using Zoom, what an incredible opportunity to just start this program. So the program is about positive transformative change in individuals. So we want to start changing mindset about leadership. We believe, I'm using we because it's a group of people that are going to be sharing and inspiring emerging leaders. We believe that leadership is a concept that is not just about the individual is there, but it's not just about the individual, it's also the ecosystem within which they operate. So we are going to be looking at leadership from the perspective of the person, leadership as a process, leadership as position, leadership from perspective of results. So there will be some element of the concept and the theory of leadership. But importantly, we are going to be looking at how transforming understanding of leadership as serving, and it's different to servant leadership. I know that concept as well, but is a different concept that looks at maybe bringing together the transformative leadership and servant leadership, really about how do we transform our society, how do we transform the lives of others through our leadership, and this is a leadership that cares about people, but also make sure that results are being delivered, because it's not just about caring for people. You need to be able to empower people and equip people to be able to deliver results. So the program is in 3 modules. The first module, we're focusing on the self, understanding, building our own self-awareness and challenging our mindset about leadership. So we're going to be looking at the different theories of leadership, from the great man theory, trait leadership, contingency, all those things, and even be asking ourselves, what are we seeing in our context today, and where do we sit in that? How do we view leadership? And we'll be looking at power, how people use power, because leadership is also about power, whether you've got a position, if you're able to influence somebody, there is power in it, and how do we use that effectively? And then the second module, we're going to now be asking, so the question we are asking in module 1 is, why should anyone follow you as a leader? Why, and then the second module will be looking at leading others. So now we're looking at the relationship between you as a leader and followers, and the mutuality. What are some of the issues within that leadership style? And the third module will be looking at leadership in a global context. So we are now a global village. What are the issues? And that's when we'll be also talking about issues around sustainability, world affairs. And so the program is roughly over 12 months in terms of three months. And there will be a community project, because this is about transformative leadership as well. So we'll be adopting a community where we want to see a sustainable change. So there will be a project linked to that. So hopefully, by going through that program, we'll have a new set of people that they see leadership in a different way. And I'm hoping as much as possible that we have a lot of Africans. I'm not putting it in a box, but really the priority is about imagine Africans, because that we need to change that continent for good.
Thank you.
And it's
Wow.
free, by the way. It's free.
That's great. That's great.
It's free, but it's going to be certificated.
Yeah.
So the certificate, of course, you pay for that, but the whole program is free.
That's great. How do you fund, some of these programs that you do? You do a lot of programs. How do you fund them?
That's a very good question. I don't know. God
God.
just provides.
Yeah, that's great.
So the online one actually, because it's Zoom, so that's easy. And I guess, the cost is just the time, having to give time and put time into it. And when we have events as well, there are people that also sow, they contribute, they just contribute. And yeah, oh, glory
That's
be to God.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much, Sister Adeola, for taking time out of your busy schedule to do this video with me. What's your final word? I mean, for our listeners and hearers.
Wow. My final word is that, all glory belongs to God. There's nothing that is impossible. I think once you ask the question, what on earth am I here for? Is really encouraging you to link up with the Almighty God who creates you or who created you, and he will provide, and you just see how the world will start opening up for you once you are just linked to him, and everything you do is you want to give him glory. Yeah.
Thank you so much. To Abu, I just want to tell us that all of us can do something to fix the problem of gender inequality. For ladies or for girls, make sure you get your education, finish school, and you can also empower your friends to do the same. And also, all of us must do something about unconscious bias and preference, of one gender over another.